Now when I was a young man, I carried me pack and lived the free life of a rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, me country said, son, it's time you stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat, they gave me a gun, they marched me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amidst all the cheers, flag waving and the tears, we sailed off Gallipoli. And how well I remember that terrible day, how our blood stained the sand and the water, and how in that hell they called Suvla Bay, butchered like lambs at the slaughter. And Johnny Turk, he was waiting, he primed himself well, he showered us with bullets and he rained us with shells. And in 5 minutes flat, we were all blown to hell. Nearly blew us straight back to Australia. But the band played Waltzing Matilda when we stopped to bury our slain. We buried ours, the Turks buried theirs, we started all over again. And those that were left, well, we tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. For 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, while around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me ass overhead, and when I awoke in me hospital bed, saw what had been done, I wished I was dead. Never knew there were worse things than dying. For I'll go no more waltzing Matilda all around the green bush far and free. To hum tent and pegs, a man needs both legs. No more waltzing Matilda for me. So they gathered the crippled, the wounded, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The legless, the armless, the blind, the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. As our ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where me legs used to be, and thanked Christ there was no one waiting for me. To grieve, to mourn and to pity. But the band played Waltzing Matilda as they carried us down the gangway. But nobody cheered, they just stood and stared. They turned their faces away. So now every April I sit on me porch watch the parade pass before me. I see me old comrades, how proudly they march, reviving old dreams of past glory. And the old men march slowly, all bones stiff and sore. They're tired old heroes from a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. The band played Waltzing Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But as the years follow years, more old men disappear. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing Matilda, who will come a waltzing Matilda with me? And their ghosts may be heard as they march by that billabong. Who will come a waltzing Matilda with me?
I was born in a Dublin street where the royal drums do beat, and the loving English fleet they walked all over us. And every single night that my father came home tight, he'd invite the neighbours outside with his chorus. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes in Killishandra. Come let me hear you tell how you slandered brave Parnell when you thought him well and truly persecuted. Where are the sneers and jeers that you bravely let us hear when the heroes of 16 were executed? Come on you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes in Killishandra. Come tell us how you slew those arrows two by two. Like the Zulus they had spears and bow and arrows. How brave you faced one with your 16-pounder guns, and you frightened them tornadoes to their marrow. Come out you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely place in Killishandra. Now the time is coming fast, and I think the days are here when each English yeoman will run before us. And if there be a need, then our kids will say Godspeed with a verse or two of singing this fine chorus. Come on, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell them how the IRA made you run like hell away from the green and lovely lanes of Killishandra.
This song is about some climbers who took a sailboat over to Greenland, and they were climbing on the big walls, and they were living in a little sailboat called the Dodo's Delight. This song is the Dodo's Delight. When there
there's vicious storms and seas, all the ships are safe ashore. There's a tiny little sailboat that keeps sailing on Famar. Other hurricanes and cyclones fairly meet her waves and mar. And the name of the mighty sailboat that never goes ashore, it's a Dodo's delight, it's a Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's a Dodo's delight. It's the Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. Oh, she sails straight through icebergs like butter through a knife. She bounces over rocks like a chicken on the moon. Oh, the sailor who's the captain who commands this mighty ship, it's the Captain Reverend Bob, here to crack you with the whip. It's the Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. It's the Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. If you want to sail the Dodo, well, you better be tough. The crew is not so pretty, oh, they're looking kinda rough. They don't always smell like roses, their socks often stank. And if there's water way too soft, then they're made to walk the plank. It's a Dodo's delight, it's a Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's a Dodo's delight. It's a Dodo's delight, it's a Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's a Dodo's delight. Whether Sully on his squeeze box, Nico on his mandolin, and Sean with his whistle, and the spoons are played by Fen. So tell me, what's the menu where the concert's on tonight? In the middle of the ocean on the Dodo's delight. It's the Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. It's the Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. I'm the captain of the ship, I like it neat and tidy. Sailing on a boat hard on the wind. We will cross the ocean, we will weave through ice. And why? Because it's nice. It's a Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. It's the Dodo's delight, it's the Dodo's delight. Shining bright and blue and white, it's the Dodo's delight. It's the Dodo.
As I walk by the dark side in the evening, so fair to view the salt water and big salt air. I heard an old fisherman singing a song. Oh, take me away, boy, me time is not long. Wrap me up in my oilskins and jumpers. No more on the docks I'll be seen.
Just tell me, old shipmates, I'm taking a trip laden down to you someday on Fiddler's Green. Wrap me up in my oilskins and jumpers. No more on the docks I'll be seen. Just tell me, old shipmate, I'm taking a trip, mate, and I'll see you someday on Fiddler's Green.
By lonely prison walls, I heard a young girl calling. Michael, they have taken you away, for you stole Trevelyan's corn, so you young might see the morn. Now a prison ship lies waiting in the bay. All lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. And our love was on the wings, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By lonely prison walls, I heard a young man calling. Nothing matters, Mary, when you're free. Against the famine and the crown, I rebelled, they cut me down. Now you must raise our child with dignity. All lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. And our love was on the wings, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. By lonely harbor walls, she watched the last star falling, as the prison ship sailed out against the sky. For she lived in hope and prayed for love in Botany Bay. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. All lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. And our love was on the wings, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry. All lie the fields of Athenry, where once we watched the small free birds fly. And our love was on the wings, we had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry.
Oh, when I was a little boy, so me mother told me, Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe, that if I did not kiss the girls, my lips would all grow moldy. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe, oh, way Halloway, the good ship now is rolling. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. First I met a Yankee girl and she was fat and lazy. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. And then I met an Irish girl, she damn near drove me crazy. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. Oh, way Halloway, the good ship now is rolling. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. St. Patrick was a gentleman, he came from decent people. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. He built a church in Dublin town and on it put a steeple. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. King Louis was the king of France before the revolution. Way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. And then he got his head cut off, it spoiled his constitution. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. Oh, way Halloway, we're bound for better weather. Timmy, way Halloway, will Halloway Joe. Well, I'll tell me ma when I go home, boys won't leave the girls alone. They pulled me hair, they stole me comb, but that's alright till I go home. She's handsome, she's pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She's courting 1, 2, 3, please won't you tell me who is she? Now Mooney says he loves her and all the boys are fighting for her. Knock at the door and a ring at the bell and oh, my true love, are you well? Out she comes as white as snow, rings on a finger, bells on a door. Oh, Johnny Morrissey says she'll die if she doesn't get the fella with the roving eye. Well, I'll tell me ma when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They cut me hair, they stole me comb, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, oh please won't you tell me who is she? Got the wind and the rain and the hail blew high and the snow came shoveling through the sky. She's as sweet as apple pie, she'll get her own lad by and by. When she gets a lad of her own, she won't tell her man till she gets home. Let them all come as they will, Albert Mooney loves herself. Tell me ma when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull me hair, they stole me comb, but that's alright till I go home. She's handsome, she is pretty, she's the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, oh please won't you tell me who is she? Albert Mooney says he loves her, all the boys are fighting for her. Knock at the door and a ring at the bell, and oh my true love, are you well? Out she comes as white as snow, ring on a finger, bells on a door. Oh, Johnny Morrissey says she'll die if she doesn't get a fella with a roving eye. Well, I'll now when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. They pull me hair, they stole me comb, but that's alright till I go home. She is handsome, she is pretty, she is the belle of Belfast City. She is courting 1, 2, 3, oh Benny, won't you tell me who is she? In Dublin's fair city, set my eyes on sweet Molly Malone as she wails her wheelbarrow through the streets broad and narrow, drawing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, drawing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
She was a fishmonger, and sure 'twas no wonder, for so were her father and mother before, and they wheeled their wheelbarrows through the streets broad and narrow, drawing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, drawing cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
She died of a fever and no one could save her, and that was the end of sweet Molly Malone. Now her ghost wheels her barrels through the streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, alive, alive, oh, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh.
For just one time I would take a northwest passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wild and savage, and make a northwest passage to the sea. Westward from the Davis Strait, 'tis there 'twas said to lie, the sea route to the Orient, for which so many died, seeking gold and glory, leaving weathered, broken bones, and a long-forgotten, lonely cairn of stones. For just one time I would take a northwest passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wild and savage, and make a northwest passage to the sea. 3 centuries thereafter I take passage overland, in the footsteps of brave counsel where the sea of flowers began, watching cities rise before me, then behind me sink again. This tardiest explorer driving hard across the plains. For just one time I would take a northwest passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for a Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wild and savage, and make a northwest passage to the sea. And through the night behind the wheel, the mileage clicking west, I think upon Mackenzie, David Thompson and the rest, who cracked the mountain ramparts and did show a path for me to race the roaring Fraser to the sea. For just one time I would take a northwest passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wild and savage, and make a northwest passage to the sea. How then am I so different from the first men through this way? Like them I left a settled life, I threw it all away, to seek a northwest passage and the call of many men, to find there but the road back home again. For just one time I would take a northwest passage to find the hand of Franklin reaching for the Beaufort Sea, tracing one warm line through a land so wild and savage, and make a northwest passage to the sea.
Where grasses grow and the waters flow in a free and easy way, but give me enough of the railroad stuff that's made near Galway Bay. Come goers all from Donegal, Sligo, Limpton, and we'll give them a slip and we'll take a sip of the railroad Mountain Dew. There's a neat little still at the foot of the hill where the smoke goes up to the sky. By the whip and the smell you can plainly tell there's oatmeal brewing nearby. For the busy air with perfume rare and the witches both me and you. For a home we go with a pint or a bowl or a bucket of the Mountain Dew. Sky-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dee. Sky-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dee. Now a learned men who use the pen have written praises high of Rebetine from Ireland's green that's made of wheat and rye. So away with your pills, it'll cure all your ills, be a pagan, a Christian, a Jew. So take off your coat and grease your throat with a bucket of the Mountain Dew. Sky-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dee. Sky-dee-dee-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dum, skiddy-doo-dee-dee-dee.
Well, in a merry month of May, from the home sad, it left the girls a tip so sad and broken. Has a loomy father there, miss me dad and mother, drank a pint of beer, me grief and tears, a smothering after reeve the corn, leave where I was born, had a stout black hound, a Spanish ghost, a goblin's bought a pair of brogues, rallying all the bogs, frightening all the dogs, on the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up there and turn it down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, walk for lonely da. And Malone God and I arrested him, so we started by the lively spirits bride, and early took a drop of the pill, we had from sinking, that's a paddy score, when he's on the drinking to see the lassie smile, laughing all the while, at me curious style, what said you had, bubble and asked me, was I hired and wages I required, I was almost hired on the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up there and turn it down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, work for Lallina. In Dublin next, alright, I thought it'd be a pity, soon be the rough, few of that fun city, then I took a stroll, all along the world, me bundle it was stole. me something crossed me mind. When I looked behind the bundle, could I find a pound me stick? A wobbling inquiring after the road, said me cash and vogue wasn't much in vogue. Out a rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up the head and turn it down a rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, 1 for Lally-da. From there I got away, my spirits never failed. I landed on the gate just as the ship was sailed. Captain had the road, said the room we had it. When I jumped aboard a cab and found for Paddy, down among the pigs, I played some hardy rigs, done some hardy jigs. I water around me, bubbling off the Holly head. Wish myself was dead, I bit the fire instead. Father Rocky Road, Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up the head and turn it down a rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, 1 for Lally-da. Well, the boys in Liverpool, when we were safe in land, they called me South Pole. I couldn't remember sounded, blood began to boil. Temper I was losing, poor old Erin was an Navy gun, abusing her Amy socialisation lately. Oil flies, some Galloway boys were by. I was a hollering, then a loud hooray. They joined me in the affray, we quickly cleared the way. On the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up the head and turn it down a rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, 1 for Lally-da.
These cigarettes are the greatest excuse. These cigarettes are the greatest excuse. Had a hard day, and I nailed break. Just smoke a cigarette. They're the greatest excuse. Just smoke a cigarette. They're the greatest excuse. When you're lost or you're low, when the conversation sucks, just share a cigarette. They're the greatest excuse. Just share a cigarette. They're the greatest excuse. When your friends are gone, because you heard them all. Just save your cigarettes. Have no excuse. Just save your cigarettes. You lost your excuse.
In South Australia I was born. Heave away, haul away. In South Australia round the Cape Horn. And we're bound for South Australia, all the way down the rolling kings and the heave away, all the way, and you hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. As I walk down one morning fair, heave away, all the way, with a chance to meet Miss Nancy Blair, we're bound for South Australia, all the way, you're rolling kings and the heave away, all the way, and you down the Caymon, and we're bound for South Australia.
His song is Whiskey in a Jar. As I was coming over the far from carried mountains, I met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced my pistol and I then produced my rapier. Tight sand and a liver fire, yar, the bowl deceiver, moosha, ring, da-ba-doo-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money and I made a pretty penny. I put it in my pocket and I took it home to Jenny. She sighed and she swore that she never would deceive me. But the devil take the women, for they never can be easy. Moosha, ring, da-ba-doo-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into my chamber, all to take a slumber. I dreamt of gold and jewels, for sure it was no wonder. But Jenny drew me charges and she filled them with our water. Then they sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. Moosha, ring, da-ba-doo-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. 'Twas early in the morning, just before I rose to travel, and up comes a band of footmen and likewise Captain Farrell. I first produced my pistol, for she stole away my rapier, but I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taken. Moosha, ring, da-ba-doo-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Now there's some that take delight in the carriages are rolling, and others take delight in hurling and the bowling. But I take delight in the juice of the barley, and court pretty fair maids and morning bright and early. Moosha, ring, da-ba-doo-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. And anyone could aid me, it's me brother in the army. If I can find his station in Cork or in Killarney, if he'll go with me, we'll go rolling in Kilkenny. And I'm sure he'll treat me better than me oldest boy and Jenny. Moosha, ring, da-ba-doo-ba-da. Whack for the daddy-o, whack for the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar.
I've climbed round the world, been on the limestones of France. I've sweat off me ass in the south, but nothing so sweet still calls me like Yosemite's big walls. So throw it a suit, boy, and pick up a rack tonight. For a sweet, sweet old captain is calling, and I best see you by Monaghan's line. Oh, it's peace for a round when you're high up the ground, of the green dragons down below. So give a loud call and come on in all to Yosemite's big walls. So throw it a suit, boy, and pick up a rack tonight. For a sweet, sweet old captain is calling, and I best see you by morning's light. Well, tell you something true, we got women here too, all there a sight to be seen. But don't hold your breath or stick out your chest, 'cause she most likely sends harder than you. So throw it a suit, boy, and pick up a rack tonight. For a sweet, sweet old captain is calling, and I best see you by morning's light. So throw it a suit, boy, and pick up a rack tonight. For a sweet, sweet old captain is calling, and I best see you by morning's light.